Hello and welcome to the Soul Support Sanctuary. Tonight is humor night in the sanctuary, and I'll be doing a healing on everyone for your humor. And I'm going to do a couple of different spaces for your humor tonight too. It's so important. Humor and amusement is so incredibly important. And I just wanted to say I feel really lucky. I'm in a family where there's a lot of humor. And my father was a really funny man, and living around my little sisters like living with a comedian. So there's a lot of laughter in the house and in the family, and it actually helps you move energy. So laughing and humor and amusement are one of your higher energy vibrations, and their amusement is one of your great creative vibrations. So humor's right up there with it. And we're going to clean that out tonight. And I'll tell you the spaces that we're going to clean it out in. I'm going to clean out humor in your communication space, in your money space, that's important, in your relationship space, in your workspace, and on your spiritual path. So those were the topics that I picked to clean out your humor in. And I'll go ahead and set the energy for the healing right now. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with just general humor, like your garden variety humor, and clean that space out first. Apathy and depression are the first two energies to come out. And that apathy is a very lumpy white energy, and the depression is a brown. And that apathy, well, as apathy does, it makes you not want to take a step forward. It also doesn't want you to raise your energy. And like I was saying, humor is a high energy vibration. So you have got to raise the energy of the body to be able to have humor. Next is regrets are coming out, and places where you hold energy against yourself. Next is, I should say, next are some lower level energies. There's some anger coming out. Disappointment. And, basically like low level energies that try to control your mood and your energy vibration. And I'm going to take a moment right now and work on erasing these low level forms of beings called snakes. And I want to take a moment to erase that energy because it's a destructive energy and it really has no redeeming value to it. So just give me 1 minute here. That snake energy, the low level beings keep you in pictures, victim pictures, feeling sorry for yourself. This is actually a really good find, this victim energy, because it's thick and it's throughout the entire space. It's like about an inch thick, and it goes all over the front part of you. This is really good. I was not expecting to find this, but I feel like this is a really good find because there's a big chunk of energy that I would not have thought to clear. And I have to laugh because the next energy I really want to take out, and it's bosses. You all know I love to bag on bosses. So the energy of bosses gets in your space, in your humor space. And we're actually going to be cleaning out the workspace. So I'll just clean out the bosses right now, and we'll get to more of that later. Next is family control energy. And what I mean by that is oftentimes in a family, there's a member of the family that's in a lot of pain, and they're usually the ones that try to control the energy of the family and keep the energy low, because they'll go into pain if the energy starts rising too much. They can't have it in their body. So family control energy would be that person in the family who needs to keep the energy down. And I'm going to say hello to those control family members and move them out. When I move all the beings out, it left a residue of like white energy. So I'm working on that now. And of course, there's all kinds of serious energy coming out. I could just feel myself going into more of a serious state. So I started matching that energy. That's the next vibration I'm going to take a look at and try to clear. And then you all just showed me something really sweet, and that's that a picture of where you really had free humor, and that's at about second grade level. So I'm going to go back on the timeline and ground everybody's kind of like pure essence of humor and bring that back to them. Okay, I'm going to tell you how I did that. I looked at everybody and looked at their true essence of humor and turned it into a picture of a star, and then put that star in each one of your spaces to remind you of that high vibration. And we're getting, now that we've been cleaning a few layers, now we're getting down to some heavier layers, tragedy and trauma. Again, kind of serious for humor, but we got to get this out so that we can have our humor available to us. And as I was doing that, there's a picture came out that has to do with losing your humor when trying to fix things that just don't get fixed. So that must be a common picture because it came out loud and clear. I have to smile because Supreme Being just brought the energy up to laughter. So while I was watching the healing go on, everything just started coming up, 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 and was set at the vibration of laughter. So I'm going to hold that thought and fill in the symbol that I'm using right now for humor, because it's at a great vibration right now. And now we're going to go and clean out some of these spaces that I had planned. So let me fill in the garden variety humor. And I will tell you that humor breeds joy. When I went to fill everybody in, so much joy came in. It was wonderful. All right. So the first space I'm going to be working on is your communication space. So I'm going to be taking some of that highest energy vibration of the humor and running it through a symbol that I'm using for your communication space. It's so much energy about wanting to be able to say certain things and not feeling like you have the right to say them, or being concerned about the effect that it will have on other people, because you are sensitive, you're a sensitive soul. And what I see is that oftentimes you won't say something because you're concerned about how it will be received. That's a lot of white energy coming out. There's a lot of telepathic energy coming out in the communication space. And those telepathic channels go here and around the ears and down the neck. So there's a lot of energy being cleared out of those channels right now. There was some energy in there that got cleared that had to do with, how can I say this? Like, it was blocking your everyday ability to have humor, just like every day. So that came out. It's really, I'm getting to see all these great pictures about humor, ways to create humor. There was a picture coming out of having your toes tickled, being tickled. There was a lot of energy on that for humor. Oh, this is a good one. Cleaning out the energy so that you can use humor in your body language. The energy that I was looking at was like a frozen energy where you didn't feel comfortable expressing humor through the body. And that's a form of communication. So one of the communication spaces I was just looking at was whether or not you could have humor in your communication with yourself. And there is some thick white energy in there and a little bit of pearl gray that we're going to clear. I'm working on cleaning out that space of being able to find amusement with yourself, laugh at yourself. And then there's also humor in your written communications or even in your social media communications. What's coming out right now is the energy of fear of being seen. You know, if you come out with your humor, that's making a statement, and there's a lot of fear about exposing yourself. And I meant that in the most decent way. You know, yeah, back to the exposure and how you feel like you're going to be perceived. It also has to do with a sensitivity about whether people will appreciate your humor or not. Something I've noticed with people who are really funny and use humor a lot is that oftentimes they're not as sensitive to energy coming at them, because I noticed that a lot of them don't care what you think about their humor, that they're just funny people and they're going to say whatever they're going to say. When I look at everybody in the sanctuary, that's a sanctuary full of very, very sensitive people. So if you say something funny and it's not perceived as funny, then the energy comes back at you. And if you're sensitive, you're very aware of how much energy can get thrown at you for what you say or do. So I'm looking at all of that and trying to clean out that sensitivity. Okay. The energy in the communication space has come up to a clear blue, like sky blue. I'm going to fill that in with a gold sun. Okay, that cleaned up nicely. Now we're going to go to money and finding some humor in your money space. Let's see if there is any. Well, the humor that I see in your money space right now is lime green, and I don't really think that's what it's going to wind up being. I'm going to start grounding it and running humor through it. Good. Humor breaks up a lot of the seriousness in the money space, and the energy of trying to hold on to money is being like, if you don't have freedom in your giving and receiving dichotomy, then you're trying to hold on to the energy of money, and that doesn't allow money to come in and go out. The humor is cleaning out the energy of banks. They're not very funny. So there's a lot of bank energy coming out. Government energy is coming out. Taxes are coming out. And failure and bankruptcy and loss is coming out. There's a lot of energy on the loss of money, not very much humor about it at all. So I'm going to take a moment and work that space. I just saw something, when a space gets serious, like the money space, it tends to create isolation. And that's something that I just saw is the isolation in the money space, and how when you're in communication with other people in your money space, that just opens the door for more flow of money. So I'm going to clear that isolation energy. Okay. Well, I was right. It didn't end up lime green. It ended up like a Kelly green, but a sparkling Kelly green. And I'm going to fill that in with a big gold sun. And the gold sun is lots and lots of humor coming right into your money space. Okay. The next space is relationships. That's important to have humor in relationships. First thing is feeling dumb or stupid by using your humor in a relationship, like how you might be judged for that. Yeah, and as I'm working on this in relationships, it's easy for me to see how humor kind of mends a lot of things in relationships. It heals things. Well, running humor through your relationships is kicking out conflict and anger and all of that yucky low level stuff. Good. Enough of the judgment got cleared where now you will start to be able to have people appreciate your humor. There was so much judgment that you couldn't see how your humor could be appreciated. And it is appreciated. It's a wonderful healing vibration. I'm cleaning out humor in your intimacy space in relationships. Wow, when I go to clean out um, that space, I just see so much resistance to it. There was so much energy in there about not sharing humor intimately with somebody else. So much fear of judgment. That was really a lot of energy. Let me fill that space in right now with some humor. Okay. And when I was talking about intimacy, I wasn't just talking about sex. I'm talking about being able to have intimate communication. And that space I'm going to fill in now with gold. Okay, bringing humor into your relationship space enhances love. That's what I got to see when I was filling you in with the humor in your relationship space. All right. Next is your workspace. Let's bring some humor to the job. This is where I'm going to get to clean out bosses. So let me work on that. There's so many rules about bringing amusement into the office. There's a lot of non-permission to have amusement or humor at work. I'm going to clear the energy that I see as non-permission. It's a pretty dark brown energy. Because you're supposed to be producing. That's what you're supposed to be doing 24/7. You're on the clock. It's like there's a conflict of interest. Where the energy gets set, and you have to remember, I'm looking at a collective of all of you in the sanctuary, but in general, where the energy gets set for business is kind of low. And as we know, humor is a higher vibration. And so when I try to bring that high vibration into the workspace, there's a lot of control energy and resistance to it. So I'm working on that right now. Now bringing humor into the workspace, I'm grounding it. It's bringing some orange gold into the workspace. There's a picture in there that humor in the workplace is a waste of time. I find that kind of amusing because that's like saying your highest creative energy vibration is a waste of time. There's a lot of brown coming out of the workspace. Conformity, that's what I'm seeing. Like there's supposed to be conformity in the office place. And humor is definitely not a conformist activity. And when I bring the humor through the workplace to kind of flush it out, a lot of what comes out is the older generation of whatever company or business, and that's what I'm seeing is where there's a lack of amusement and humor. And so much control energy. That's a lot of white energy that I'm going to clear out. Okay. That opened up nicely. So I would love to hear from any of you when you go back to work, like how the environment is. So I'm going to fill that in with a big orange gold sun. That cleaned up nicely too. And then the last space is your spiritual path and bringing some humor to your spiritual path. That means bringing humor to your growth periods and all of your change and growth. All right, let's take a look at that. The first energy that it's kicking out is like an exhausted energy, like, oh, I'm so over trying to get my spiritual goals. That was the energy that I saw. So we're going to clean that out. It's like the energy of trying something and not feeling like you're accomplishing what you're trying. One thing that I'm looking at as I work on this is that when I look at everybody's spiritual path as a group, as a whole, there's a lot of energy on your future timeline. So I'm going to take a moment and clear a lot of that energy on your future timelines. Because if you have mock-ups on your future timelines, that's not going to help you. Those mock-ups need to be out in the center of the universe. So when I look down your timelines, there's a lot of energy on them. So let's clear that off. Okay, I learned something about you while I was doing that. I learned that you keep a lot of your wanting energy out in your mock-ups. And because when I was cleaning off the stuff on your future timeline, a lot of it was, I want this, I want that, I really need this, I really need that. And if you remember, when we do mock-ups, we're supposed to call all of our energy out of the mock-up before we send it off. Because what happens is if you send your picture of whatever it is that you want out into the universe with your energy on it, it can't come back to you. It has to be completely neutral and just be a picture. If your energy's on it, it will constantly be out in future time, and it won't be able to come to you. So that's what I got to see working on your guys' spiritual path, how much of your energy was already out there. So I'm pulling that back into present time. Good. So humor is coming in so that you can laugh at some of the wacky things that you create for yourself while you're trying to clear pictures, because we're very creative beings, and what we do is we go out and create wild and wacky ways for us to light up pictures and clear them. So this humor was helping clean out a lot of that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fill that space of your spiritual path in with a big gold sun. This is a really big gold sun. All right, and now I'm just going to run some humor in your crown chakra. All right, that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and close out the healing now. I'm going to fill you in with a gold sun and close out. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this healing in the sanctuary tonight be complete. Amen. You can open your eyes if you had them closed and come on out of trance. Good job. I just have a couple of announcements. We only have one more event. This Thursday night, in 2 nights, we have a Seek and You Will Find. And for those of you that are new, what you do is you can come into that webinar and type in the chat bar your question to me, and then I'll go ahead and answer it in the form of a healing. And you can actually type them in anonymously if you type them to admin. So I get to see them and nobody else knows who the question is coming from. So that's coming up Thursday night. And then January, our mailer for January is probably going to come out on the 27th. So I thought I'd give you a little teaser of a couple of things that are going to be coming up. One I'm pretty excited about. We're going to have a special women's healing event. So those of you spirits in female bodies, if you'd like to join us, I think that's the 30th. Hold on a second. 31st. So it's a Tuesday night, and it is for all spirits in female bodies that want to come and get a healing to help elevate your female energy. And we're going to be clearing all kinds of things, especially past life energy that may have an effect on your current body. So that's coming up in January. Pretty darn excited about that. And the healing's actually going to be done by the Transmedium healers. They're going to be joining us that night. So keep that on your calendar for the 31st in January, and we will let you know all the rest of our goodies coming up in about a week. And I hope you have, well, I'll see you before the holiday, actually, so I'll hold that thought. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening. Got my eyes on you, so have a good night, and I look forward to seeing you in Seek and You Will Find on Thursday night. All right. Bye-bye.